record again. What's good, everybody? Once again, this is SilentMode, maker, artist, and LEGO Enthusiast. I should remind myself to check the microphone before I start this stuff. But once again, this is Late Night Loot. For those who don't know, it is 1 hour of me just sorting through my private LEGO collection. And oh, hi JDP, how you doing, sir? Thanks for stopping by. But yes, Late Night Loot is 1 hour of sorting through my private LEGO collection. You can see that I've got a brand new box of pab wall parts. And without further ado, let's get started. I'm doing all right, thanks. How are you doing, sir? Actually, I've just about recovered from the brick crawl. Once again, shout out to everybody who was part of the brick crawl. And I don't know about anybody else, but I've been going through some emotions recently. I think it's mostly to do with the lack of sleep that I've had. I remember the last few times I have dealt with the lack of sleep, I tend to feel emotional about things. But yeah, in general, I'm alright. How's it going, Alexandria? I see you there as well. Thanks for stopping by. I know that quite a few people are streaming at the moment. I've seen Britain Bricks, who's got a nice sponsored model, and Bricks Together as well. I believe they're streaming as well. But I really appreciate you guys stopping by for a few moments at least. So yeah, these parts came from the Shepherd's Bush store in London. Paid a visit there just today, and they said they hadn't updated the wall recently. Maybe next week they'll have some more parts. I appreciate the work that they put in there. So following my move, the Shepherd's Bush store is actually my closest one now. It used to be the rather pitiful London Battersea store, but now it's Shepherd's Bush, which is probably my preferred store. But even so, they have a nice selection of parts here. Yeah, I've seen that Sean, also known as Britain Bricks, if I understand correctly, he was gifted one of those LEGO delivery trucks, which is not an insignificant set. But that's pretty cool from whoever gifted him that set. It's one that I wouldn't mind receiving myself, but on one hand it's very pricey, and on the other hand I'd rather design something like that myself. I guess it's designer's pride or something like that. But I picked up some of these pieces because as with every other time I visit the walls at different stores, I have ideas of what I want to build. I don't know if I'm actually going to build anything, but if not, then these parts are nice to have, I think. Some of them are a little bit dirty. So he's trying to build the truck backwards. How on earth would somebody accomplish that? I did catch the beginning of the stream. I think he said something about emptying all the bags at once. I don't know, but maybe I'll stop by after this. I'm pretty sure he'll still be live after this, and see how much progress he's made. Just thinking randomly as well, just an idea that came into my head. What would be really interesting is if somebody received a set like that and they had to build it without using instructions at all. That would be a fitting punishment, I think. So seeing, maybe it could be a contest between different people, but seeing who can get closest to the finished model without looking at the instructions. That's a heck of a feat. So I made sure I picked up a few of these. I think I have an idea of what I'm going to do with these, but I'll have to get some particular tiles as well to make good on them. But yes, as I was saying, I had been feeling rather emotional following the brick crawl, just thinking about all kinds of different things. Whether or not I did a good enough job, which I think I did okay. But it was a beautiful experience because everybody got their time in the spotlight. I'd say it wasn't just one person, despite how things looked. It wasn't just one person's parade. It was a whole bunch of people, each having their own experience and having exposure. And that's really what I want to see. You know, I don't ever want it to be just me. And I don't think it should just be one or even a handful of particular people. Thank you, Alexandria, for saying that. In the process, I learned a bit about myself as well. I won't go into that because that's not this isn't the place for it. But let's just say I was right and wrong about a few things. The whole thing went better than expected, although I suspected there'd be a few particular ups and downs, but it's natural, I guess. And I also got to thinking a lot about what I'm going to do this year in terms of things I'm going to build, things I'm going to do, whether or not I'll get anything done. But it is very early days yet. It's only the first week of the new year, so maybe I shouldn't be that hard on myself. Anyhow, the pab wall is the main reason for going to these LEGO stores. I had actually seen a handful of sets that I was interested in getting, but I have a habit of trying not to buy anything at full price unless I really, really want the sets. So I actually made a list of sets that I wanted. There was the in the city theme, there's an EV supercar which looks pretty good, but it's way too expensive for my taste. It's on the lower end, but it's still expensive. It's, how much is it? About £9, and I could see it being maybe a £6 or £7 set. So I'm going to wait to see if I can get a discount on that and the other sets. I'm still interested in getting the F1 truck and the F1 pit stop. Mustn't forget as well, I'm also interested in getting the Friends Mansion if it's still available. And then there's also a Minecraft sets that I'd be interested in getting just for the parts, really. But everything is way too expensive for my taste right now, so I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna bide my time. And just a random thought, actually. One thing I used to do was make day trips to the Lego house over in Billings, back when I was a lot more affluent and when the flights and things were more affordable. There were some things that you could get over in Billings that worked out to be less expensive than over here. I don't know if that's going to be the case though, especially factoring in all the other costs. So there's quite a few reddish orange elements here. Got some 1x4 tiles. We had some 1x8 plates a while ago. We've also got some 1x2 plates. I should be done with this pile of parts. I'm not going to bother using my containers, although I have designed this one, which is the same as the other ones, except it's got these dividers, and they're going to be useful for organizing smaller collections of parts, I'd say. Oh yes, I remember. That's a good reason to go to the, if you haven't already, I'd definitely recommend going to the Lego house in Billund at least once. So they do have some exclusive sets over there, and if it's your thing, you can also get some sets signed by the designers if you're lucky. And it goes without saying that the main exhibit is worth visiting as well. I don't mean to humble brag, but I've been to Billund about, I want to say 12 times. I've been to Billund before the Lego house was constructed, and I've been quite a few times since then. I've averaged about 3 times a year. That was when times were a lot better, but I haven't felt compelled to go back. I think I've burned myself out, but it would be worth going back at least once. I was only able to do it really because, for one, obviously I'm closer to Billund, being in the UK than in the States, and also there used to be some cheap flights from Stansted Airport to Billund, direct flights, very inexpensive, and you could basically make a day trip there. Unfortunately, I don't think that flight is available anymore, so it's going to cost a little bit more to go there, because I think the only other option I have is going via Heathrow, and that's with British Airways, which is going to be a bit more expensive, but it's okay. I've been lucky enough to, let's just say I've been lucky enough to have gone there enough times. So anyway, how are you doing, everybody in the chat? How's everybody doing today or tonight? And don't worry, I know it's quite challenging trying to watch more than one person at once. But I appreciate everybody who's here. Excellent. Well, JDP, do you enjoy cleaning your room? I guess that's the question I have for you. I guess it depends what kind of cleaning you have to do. And Alexandria, I know that you had your eye on a few sets. I've seen the Bugs Bunny set that you were keen on. I got to go to the Lego store, or 2 Lego stores, and saw for myself what the newer sets were. I gotta say, I wouldn't mind getting the Back to the Future Speed Champion set, but looking at it, it's definitely something that can wait. I thought you might have. But yeah, I will say that I've been spoiled, so I'm not looking to buy anything at full price. I did have a fleeting thought that maybe, just maybe, I would order another one of those AliExpress vending machines and do another color swap, but I don't think there's much point in doing that. And besides, the minifigures that came with the copy aren't nearly as good as the official ones, I'd say. Well, it doesn't sound too bad, JDP. As long as there's not any food mess or anything that you need a vacuum cleaner for. I guess it's just the routine of cleaning up that's not so enjoyable. So this is my storage solution. Just about everything in Ziploc bags because I don't have any fancy storage. How's it going filling bricks? How are you enjoying all the streams tonight? So right now I'm just sorting through some parts I got from the pab wall at the Shepherd's Bush store. It's going. I feel you. I have to say I am not keen on visiting the Leicester Square store. It's got the biggest pab wall in the UK, I believe. But I don't like going to that store because it's a tourist trap. Thank you for the heart reactions. Yep, it's a trap. It's even run by the admiral himself, I would suspect. I was just going to say, actually, speaking of visiting stores, if it was even possible, I would still like to do a visit to the States and visiting some of their pab walls. Okay. But then I thought about it, and one thing I'd have to remember is that the States, from what I understand, isn't anything like the UK. It doesn't take, well, it's going to take quite a bit longer to move around and get from one place to the other because the country is so much bigger. So I guess my stamina would be put to the test. But even if it's just one store, I would really like to have that experience. I'll tell you what, when I went to Amsterdam, I had a bit of a shock because I'm used to looking at things on Google Maps and having a good idea of how long it would take to get from A to B. But because something to do with the scale of the map, everything was a lot further than I expected when I first got there, even when I went the second time. So I can only imagine what things would be like in the States. Oops. Okay, one thing I saw tonight that I particularly liked was Brick Together's stream where they had a guest builder. I thought that was a really cool idea. I have no idea who the guest builder is, but I think that's the point. It's a way of introducing new faces to the crowd. And speaking of which, there was a lot of fuss in the 3D printing space about a very popular YouTuber who, oh, Master Gamer, that's his name. There was a lot of fuss about a very popular YouTuber in the 3D printing space announcing their retirement from being a full-time creator, and they're going back to their previous job. I don't know if, I actually don't remember if they mentioned why they were doing it, but I made the remark over on another social media platform that hopefully it's an opportunity for new faces to emerge, because one thing the 3D printing space particularly likes is celebrities, and there are quite a few celebrities, but it also means that a lot of them basically hang on the words of their favorite celebrities. It doesn't really leave things open to anybody else making contributions, which I think is a problem, but that's just me. Okay, I can mention one thing that I plan to do in the very near future. I am going to announce the Big Rebuild 2026. So what I've been doing today is going through my back catalogue and picking some of my older creations to shortlist. And I decided I'm going to ask the people in the group currently known as Brick Therapy which one they want to see me redesign and rebuild. The only thing is that each of the shortlisted creations is going to be a building. So the rebuild is going to be of a building this time around. Whoops. And also, I will be required to redesign and rebuild everything this year. So no waiting a couple of years like last time to show what I've done. And so I think I'm going to put it to the vote at some point certainly in the next couple of weeks, ideally in the next week or so. So if you're interested in having a hand in deciding which one gets chosen, watch this space. Well, I'm excited. Well, I'm excited because I'm going to be doing the redesigning and rebuilding, but I'm also really curious to see what gets chosen. How's it going, Mayo? I see you there. How are you doing, sir? And my theme for this year actually came up as a result of doing the brick crawl. My theme this year is less anger, more creation. So fingers crossed you're not going to hear me ranting and raving as I used to do. Hopefully you won't hear me doing that at all, although I may make the occasional comments about the mainstream LEGO space. I want to avoid doing that as well. It's going to be, intentionally, it's going to just be me, as far as this channel goes, creating things, maybe gaining some notoriety, but ultimately building my back catalogue. That is what I'm going to be focused on this year. Yes, indeed, film bricks. Yes, indeed. One thing to aim for, actually, in terms of creativity is there's a London Brick Festival in March. And if I play my cards right, so I'll have something to display over there. So I think it would be great to start doing events again. But having something new to display instead of recycling old things. Because I want to move forward. Alright, so we're almost done here. And I'm going to show you guys, well, probably one other bag of things that I have from my private collection. Yeah, you know what, I am genuinely excited and very curious as to what is going to be created this year. I mean, I have some ideas, but this is just the beginning of the year, and I'm pretty sure other things will come up. By the way, JDP, if you're still listening, how is that challenge going with not buying any new sets? I still think you'll only last until around April, because we've only seen what's been released at the start of this year, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be some very interesting things coming up. But similarly, I've started making a list of things I can already do, and I'll probably start picking them at random, but no, without a doubt there's going to be more ideas coming up in the near future. So I figure if I get in the creating mood right now, it's going to be easier tackling some of these things in the future. I also really like the idea that Never Too Old came up with of doing, I don't know what you call it actually, but a bunch of us building models simultaneously. So I think he suggested Ninjago and dragons, but it could be done similarly with other things. I think I remember him mentioning that he's going to wait for me to get the Zuru Max, the newer Zuru Max Game Boy sets, which I think is really cool, because I've pre-ordered it and it's only going to arrive in February. And so it's nice to have somebody wait until I get it instead of going for the exclusive. That's pretty cool. But to do similar things as well with other themes, other things. Alright, Mayo, who won the darts? Not that I would know any of the names, because I haven't seen darts in quite a while, but obviously you've enjoyed watching it. I have seen the dragon. And I will say it looks a lot more robust and fuller than anything that LEGO's offering at the moment. So it's going to be interesting to see how well it builds, what his experience of it's going to be like. Whoops. I've also seen a couple of very interesting videos from other people regarding LEGO. There was, unfortunately, I can't remember, well, I didn't actually see the name of the YouTuber who made this one such video. He was talking about Well, actually the title of the video was "Dear Lego, You've Lost Your Soul" or something like that, which I think is a bit dramatic, but he made some rather good points in the video. It's about 25 minutes long though, so if you've got the time and you've got a significantly large beverage with you, I'd recommend checking it out. And there was another video of somebody ranting. I didn't watch the whole thing, but one thing I did see was I remember people talking about Bricklink, which I call the other sites, limiting its scope, limiting its worldwide range, and it had a map of the countries that would be included, and it's actually really shocking to see it like that. So basically the other site is excluding how can I put it, countries that wouldn't be considered developed, and China. It's actually quite scary. Okay. So just one more bag to put that in. That's all of these so far. Everything goes in Ziploc bags. The ones I have are on the big side, but they will be reorganized. I don't have any dragons in my collection. I guess I'm not really a dragon person, but I'd imagine they're quite interesting to build. So let's see, I think I've got time for one of these bags. This is just a random bag from my, private collection. There's quite a few of these unsorted bags, but I've got to get these in some kind of order. Alright, some of these will actually be, they'll go into a box for selling, because I do want to downsize. I'm not sure whether I should keep this tile or not. It's the I think this is the older style tile, which only has a 2x2 connection. I'm not sure yet. So I think what I'll do is I'll separate these into bricks and then other interesting pieces, and then anything I don't think I'll need I'm going to put to the side, or maybe put them in one of these bags and ultimately sell them. Alright, so Mayo is going for a 24-hour live stream on the 10th. I will certainly check that out. Will it be 24 hours? I'm going to guess it's 24 hours continuously, which is going to be a heck of a feat. But good luck with it, man. How's it going, Owen? Thanks for stopping by. Definitely keeping these. May as well keep those panels as well. Yeah, that's going to be a heck of a challenge, I think, doing 24 hours. Have you done a 24-hour live stream before? Okay. That's cool, Owen. So everything in the bag is going to be sold, or at least put in a box for sale. And that's another thing I'm looking to do in order to downsize. I'm going to have Well, my aim is to every month try and sell a box of unwanted Lego parts. Now, Owen, I didn't know you did stop motion, or maybe I forgot. Yeah, there's only a few parts I would think immediately of keeping. Somebody's lightsaber. Everything else I will basically rehome. Well, that's cool. And with any luck, you'll be as well. Eventually. Just thinking, actually. That fits. That could come in useful. Yeah, maybe I'll keep these. All right. Exactly, Alexandria. I think it gets to points where, well, it's certainly gotten to the point for me where, yes, I mean, I fell into the trap of trying to get a big collection to, I guess, to try and impress people. But when you come up against that old enemy storage and being able to find certain pieces, it puts things into perspective. So yeah, I would advise anybody to not fall into the trap of thinking you have to have a big collection and then one day finding yourself surrounded by all this Lego that you probably won't get to build with. I also have the advantage that I'm not really overly concerned with making a profit. What really matters is being able to get rid of anything I don't need. It's good to make some profit, of course, but if it doesn't sell for as much as I want it to sell, then so be it, as long as somebody else is able to make good use of the Lego. What kind of clutter, Mayo? So I'm being nosy. Oh, wooden trains. Oh yeah, I remember you have a trains. Well, I think you have a trains channel as well. I think it's going to be very interesting. Yeah, well, certainly this year, seeing how well Lego resells. I think we may experience a buyer's market. I'm going to keep these eggs. They may come in handy for Easter. Well, Film Bricks, it is great that you don't care about money. Because money, gosh, I can't tell you the number of things that money has ruined. I'm going to keep this gear. Alright. Everything, to address Alexandria's point, everything is in Ziploc bags or cardboard boxes. And I'm lucky if I'm able to find anything when it comes to trying to find parts. And yes, Owen, I had absolutely no idea that you did stop motion, but I'd be interested in seeing what you come up with. Now, don't get me wrong, money is important, but it's important in the areas that money's important in, and it's unimportant in the areas that it's unimportant in. It's one lesson I had to learn. The most important thing, I think, is not to let money define us. Whoops. See, as I was thinking, there's my strategy is to basically keep the basic elements such as bricks and plates and tiles and things, and everything else is more or less up for grabs. But there may come a time when I need a piece that I would have otherwise put up for sale. So if I still have it, I'll look at my unsorted lots boxes for the bits that I'm missing. Otherwise, I just assume that anything I don't think I immediately need is available for sale. I've been collecting a few of these for obvious reasons. Absolutely film bricks. And that's right, Alexandria. So saith the shepherd. Whoosh. I think I should keep these. They may come in handy for something. Just you wait, Mayo. Just you wait. Yeah, so I'm thinking at the moment, every month I take all these parts that I supposedly don't need, put them in a box and list them on eBay, and they'll go for whatever they go for. Maybe sometimes I'll donate a part of the profits to charity. Maybe not. Is there anything else I wanted to mention? Just thinking. No, I think I mentioned everything. I have to admit, sometimes I think about exactly what I'm going to say in these live streams, but then I also think it's too rehearsed if I do that. So there are some points that I want to hit, but then I'll try and keep it freestyle. I have to admit though, the brick crawl did take quite a bit out of me in terms of staying awake, trying to make sure that things ran smoothly, although there was a lot of help involved in that. I don't know if I have the energy to do something like a 24-hour stream. I wouldn't mind trying to do something like that though. An alien sat on a signal station on a spinning chair making a Lego joke. Okay. Okay, well, as I said, I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm actually curious as to how that's going to turn out and what the joke is. Yeah, it was exhausting, wasn't it? And I did try and catch as many people's streams as I could. Hello B, how's it going B? How you doing? Thank you for stopping by. How are you? Well, I've already asked how you're doing. But yeah, I wanted to pay respects and watch as many people's streams as I could, although I did have a few things to do during the day. Well, I know you can't say the joke just yet. Thank you, B. I think we've got time for one more bag because we're going to take things up to the hour. This one's a nice colourful one, and I remember a few of these parts are from some of the LEGO Movie 2 sets. Some nice green plates here. A nice 8x8 green plates. Got to keep that. I always think of green plates for things such as landscapes. And this is a nice panel as well. Could use it for a window. Could even use it for a vehicle. Got a Benny head. That's going to go in the for sale box. Quite a few of these Unikitty horns. These are useful pieces to have, although I don't know if I would use them in that color. Hey, come on now, Mayo, I think your streams are just fine. Well, I'm starting to think now that maybe Lynx was duping all of us, because I do know that she tried to join in on the brick crawl. Maybe she was pretending to have problems with streaming as a distraction so that she could steal people's bricks. Maybe that's what it was. Well, one thing I would suggest is, and I've got to do this as well, if I've got the time and energy, is taking some of these streams and then clipping some of the highlights of these streams into shorter videos, whether it's shorts or whether it's long form videos of segments of the live stream. I guess I don't do it because I actually don't like listening to myself speak. Okay, this isn't a Lego piece. God, gosh, I can't remember which site this came from. But in my earlier days of coming out the Dark Age, I used to buy it from Brick Arms, and I think it was Brick Warriors. But this bear trap came from one of those. Never actually used it, but it's a nice piece. It is a bear trap. It's definitely a third-party item, though. I don't remember where it's from. But yeah, I used to be into Brick Arms, getting the different weapons and things, and exploring other people's accessories for minifigures and things. And I suppose that led me to trying to create some of my own. Yeah, I will say JDP's bear. Well, welcome JDP's bear. I think it's going to be a bit too small for you. The trap, that is. But yeah, the post editing stuff, definitely better to have somebody else do it. I think if you can. As a matter of fact, I would rather have somebody else do the social media stuff, because I'm not good at it at all. But hello JDP's bear. I didn't know you were into bears, but I guess it makes sense because you're Canadian. That's stereotyping. Not all Canadians like bears, surely. Well, you sure have a lot of them. I suppose I should have alt accounts, but I'm too lazy. You know, switching between them is hard work. Alright, just a few minutes. I don't think there's enough time to go through another bag. But these are what I have for sale. They're going to be going into a box for sale on eBay eventually. And I think there's just enough time to put everything else in a larger bag. So I've got a whole bunch of bricks here, which is going to be used for, well, building. And then those other bits, they're going to go into a larger bag for sorting in the future. And this is all done with the help of these containers, which I've designed and 3D printed myself. This is my newer one for smaller collections of parts, but they are all designed to fit into each other or stack on top of each other. They do take a while to make though. Okay, we got one big Ziploc bag. So the thing is though, I need a whole bunch of those boxes. Alright, thanks for stopping by Filling Bricks. You gotta go get your stuff done, but I appreciate you stopping by. We're almost done here anyway. Let me turn the camera here so you can see what I'm doing. Do I want to keep these? No, I'll put them. I'll put them up for sale. I've got a bunch of these things. I'll probably sell them separately. These are some old grey 1x2 plates. I've been trying to get rid of old grey pieces for quite some time, but they always show up. Whoops. Making a mess. Okay, just a few minutes to go. I suppose I will take this opportunity to thank everybody for joining in and taking time out of your busy schedules. I always appreciate it. The only thing I would say, as always, Owen, and to everybody else, is to pace yourself. And I've got to do that as well, because I actually want to have some completed projects under my belt this year, which means I've got to focus. I've got to take things from start to finish. And hopefully you guys are going to hold me to account as well. If I say I'm going to start something, then you know, it'd be great if you badgered me until I completed them. No, that's not necessarily true. I mean, pacing yourself, it does encourage you to slow down, sure. But I personally think that it prevents us getting overwhelmed with new ideas and chasing new things. But that's purely my perspective, though. Alright folks, that is going to be it for the night. Indeed, slow and steady wins the race. Exactly. But that is going to be it for the night. That's all the sorting I'm going to get done in an hour. But again, I want to thank you guys for joining in and playing along as usual. I really appreciate it. So until next time, perhaps sometime next week. I sell on Feebay, or eBay as some of you guys call it. But anyway, until next time, this has been SilentMode, maker, artist and LEGO enthusiast, encouraging everybody to do your thing.